Morning. Here we are again. Traxxas Maxx today. I'm feeling a bit better today. You'll be pleased to know, or probably don't care, but anyway. So today we've got a Dusty Motors thing fitted. Can you see? It's really discreet, isn't it? When I bought this I didn't realise you'd be able to see it quite so much, but whatever. I've also fitted some GPM, I don't know if you can see them, but some Green GPM, here we go, Green GPM shock caps, for no other reason than I thought they looked quite good, and they're green. So yeah, the other ones haven't leaked or anything, but I just thought they looked quite cool and they weren't that expensive. Oh, and I've also fitted a GPM steering Bellcrank. I've been using some cheapo ones, and they weren't that great, and I managed to strip some of the hardware they came with. So I bought a GPM Bellcrank assembly with the integrated servo saver thing, and obviously really good quality. You can tell that there's a big difference between what I had got, which cost about 15 quid, and what these are, which I think off AliExpress were about 30 quid. So it's a 70-75 GPM Bellcrank jobby. Really smooth. Could tell straight away actually. Had all sorts of like little inserts, brass inserts and things to presumably make it sort of nice and light, and it seems really good just on the little bits I've done. So the reason for the Dusty Motors thing, which I'll show you in a bit when I take the shell off, the reason for that is because I've got a feeling that this stuff, if I can show you, I don't know if you can see, I'm never quite sure what the camera's doing, but this stuff, which is little shards, I don't know how you describe it, like gravel, like shards of gravel, that stuff seems to get underneath. This is all of it here, these big piles of it. That stuff somehow gets underneath the motor mount, and what happens is, I think, is when it flexes, so when it lands and it flexes, the gravel which goes down the sides of the motor goes under the motor mount. The motor mount on these is like a plastic, or in this case an aluminium plate that the motor is kind of fixed to, that slides on like little runners to set the mesh. So if you think of it like a sliding plastic or metal tray that the motor's attached to, and you slide it in and out to set the mesh. And what I think's happening is grit is getting down, and when the chassis flexes, because it's a plastic chassis, so when the chassis flexes, this grit is travelling underneath the mount, which when you see it you'd think, how's that ever happening? There's no room for it to happen, but it is. When you take the motor off, which I'm constantly doing because of the mesh, but when you take the motor off you can see all this grit underneath, and there's loads all compacted underneath. And what I think happens is, when you next do a jump and the chassis flexes, the grip moves. So the grip moves underneath, under the mount, and then settles again. But obviously it can settle pointing up, sticking anywhere, and that puts pressure, kind of upward pressure on the mount, which is why I think it always, throughout the course of a bash, starts to sound different, because it's constantly changing the kind of, yeah, you know what I mean. The grit underneath basically is affecting the mesh. So the first thing I did was fill the honeycomb underneath on the chassis on these. It's got that honeycomb stuff to like give it strength. So first thing I did was fill the honeycomb with cork. Same stuff I use on the bodies. So I filled the hexagons, because that's what's underneath the motor, loads of these hexagons. So I filled the hexagons with cork. And then thought, I don't think that's going to be enough. So I went for plan B, which was this Dusty Motors hairnet, which I bought from Model Sport for about 30 quid. And I hate things like this because they're all fiddly, aren't they? And like sticky bits of Velcro. It never sticks because you've got half a pint of WD-40 on your chassis and nothing sticks properly, and you know. So I've been like cleaning the chassis up using alcohol, you know, brake disc cleaner and all that to try and get it to stick, and it seems to have stuck all right. That was horrible. Yeah, it seems to have stuck all right. Obviously the little net doesn't weigh anything, so it hasn't got to really stick that well. It hasn't got to stick that well because it doesn't really weigh much. You know, it's only holding on a bit of mesh, isn't it? Like a bit of super lightweight mesh. So that was a crazy crash. Not quite sure where the triple backflip came from, if I'm honest. It took me by surprise, that. Normally it rotates like a double-decker bus. For some reason then it absolutely went for it, didn't it? I just let it go. That's better. Now I've changed the angle slightly on the ramp, so it's so it's a bit more low. So I'm getting a bit more speed into it, aren't I? But yeah, it's going well. Nice. Whoa, come on. What a ripper. So I think you start to see the durability of these and why people say they are the most durable truck out there. Because this is quite hard going, really, for any truck. And it doesn't break, does it? You know, it really doesn't break. I think the fan broke last week, so I've swapped that. The fan on the ESC broke. Oh, got a stone in the steering. Yeah, I got for some reason the ESC fan broke, but conveniently the Maxx ones fit. So just whacked the fan out of my Maxx into it. Maxx motor has twin fans, and I've just recently put a new couple of fans in that, so I had a spare standard one, so that's in this. Oh God. That was right on its back wheel. So that was a one wheel, one arm landing, and it doesn't do anything to these. Yeah, and I think last time I was here I did perhaps 3 or 4 where it landed right on that one, and it doesn't damage them, they just flex. You don't get any bent drive shafts because the drive shafts are telescopic plastic ones, so you don't bend any of them. The hubs don't seem to bend. You know, the stub axles, sorry, they don't seem to bend. I think that was a triple. So by having the ramp at a slightly lower angle, you can hit it with more, you don't lose the speed in the vertical. So you can get a bit more rotation going on. Right, let's have a little look what's going on. Check it's not too hot with this Dusty Motors thing. I'll show you. Because obviously it's going to restrict some air, innit? Even though it's supposed to be breathable. Here we are, look. Let's take that off. Yeah, you can feel the heat. Yeah, it's warm. It does say you can run it without the does say you can run it without it zipped up actually. And it'll keep a lot of the crap out. Yeah, that's alright, isn't it? Look, it's hold. It's held. Well, it hasn't. It's coming off there, look. But I can't see any crap in there. I suppose some crap can come through the steering, can't it? But yeah, it looks alright. So I'll zip it up a bit and just leave it half unzipped. Bit of airflow. But yeah, that's so far so good. Some good landings on the roof, didn't it? Doesn't interfere with anything either. I had a feeling it would interfere with the touchy body clip system, but it doesn't seem to. Everything seems to work all right. Even my Velcro just about works, and I can get it in. Ooh, that's it. Having the body not come off every 2 minutes probably helps keep some gravel out, and also these things staying in position probably helps as well. That was horrible. Ooh. Houston, we have a problem. Sure what's happened there. I think whatever happened there just ripped the gears off the steering servo. Let's have a look. Yeah. Stripped them. So the servo saver was quite tight, so whether or not I didn't have enough give, and it's hit and it's just took it off. That's a pity. Game over. So yeah, hitting that ramp off, I'll have to slow that down and have a look, but hitting that ramp off centre and then smashing it into the ground with its front wheels has obviously took the, I think this is the standard, well I know this is the stock servo. I have got an Maxx one at home that is a straight fit, so I can repair it without any expense, which is always good, isn't it? Because I've got a spare part I can just use. The reason I don't use that Maxx servo is because it seems to get really hot for some reason. Now it's got a metal heat sink on it, so whether or not this one gets hot, but because it's not got a metal heat sink you just can't tell, I don't know. But the Maxx one seemed to get really hot and didn't know if there was an issue with it, so I just whizzed it out and put this one back in, which to be fair has been dead good. Never had any issue with the servo until then. And I think that's dog shit. I'll just cover that up before some kid treads in it. Disgusting. So yeah, so that just took the servo out, so that was annoying. Which means I've got to carry that and this. Orange trainers on. Bit of a grey day. Not that cold, but a bit miserable. Going into autumn now. Yeah, happy Halloween. Adios. Try and turn this off.